Hi, this is Scott Currier. I'd like to introduce you to a project that I started last year in order to learn Silverlight 4, MEF, and MVVM. I mothballed the project for quite a long time. It was a very busy year. With the introduction of Silverlight 5, I'd like to kind of reintroduce this project more publicly and sort of state the goals of the project. First of all, it's a project for me, for learning, of course. But I did want something very real and usable. So I wanted a dead simple way to create Silverlight web parts and use those web parts in 2010. The difference is this is a purely Silverlight framework where you can create Silverlight web parts that all work together on the same canvas, and the idea is to be able to eventually drag and drop your way in to create a full application. So we'll see how far I can get with that goal. I also love jQuery, looking into HTML5, and included the ability to create HTML5 web parts. As you may suspect, if you've done this type of thing before, I'm using the Silverlight 4's method of overlay, HTML's method for overlaying these web parts at a different layer. And of course, the most important goal is that this has deep integration into SharePoint 2010. So here's an example of the canvas that's going to ultimately be available in 2010. This is sort of the catalog. I'm not very much of a UI guy. Hopefully this will be improved at some point. And I got a couple of web parts already in here. So let me drag the news web part out. This is a typical web part. You can have multiple instances of web parts. Not a problem at all. And as you may have expected, there's a property editor and the ability to take the web parts back off. These properties, of course, can be individually instanced. So these can all show different images and have different text, as you might expect. I'm also going to be beefing these up with property editors, so if you're editing HTML, the editor will be appropriate for HTML, same with rich text, and plain text and numbers and whatever. So that's probably going to be added as icons right here. The idea, again, is to be deep integration into SharePoint 2010, a very cohesive framework, and dead simple to use. So that's sort of the basics. And I can also drag on a sample HTML web part. And here it is, and here are the properties, and you can see the properties are working, although I do have a little work to do here. So there we go. So now I'm going to add in, as an example, let's say a YouTube video. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. I'm going to update that web part, and there you go. So now we have a YouTube video on here as well. And I'm going to just start that YouTube video off, and you can kind of see it is a working web part. So there you go. Now, how these web parts actually make it into this catalog, at this point, I'm pulling together an upload. That was the very first thing I did actually when I started the project last year, is you should be able to create your user controls, which basically end up being your web parts, in Visual Studio and drag them right onto the surface. I haven't really decided whether it would be appropriate to drag them onto the surface or first drag them into the catalog, or precisely how I want to do that. But it's very fun stuff, and I think this will be a great tool for learning Silverlight 5 and some of the new technologies with HTML5 coming out, and of course continue my work with jQuery. So I hope you enjoy the project. When it's out there, it should be out there very soon. And once it's created as a SharePoint solution, I hope you provide some feedback for me. So thank you very much.